kind of coin flip territory here. Whoever shows up, you think got it, all is considered equal? The drafts on both sides?
Look, I love...
How could these top two teams end up any other way? I don't know if top two 100% right there, but these top teams making it all the way to a game number 3 with a different look here this time. Aggro Aurora, again, having to reach deep into the God Pool, has come up with the Kuzenbo this time. Cyclone Spin back on the Chronos. What do you make Cerberus and the Kuzenbo, who are more looking for team fight presence?
Yeah, but that's such a big deal. As speaking of big deals, Yarkor gets ganked on the right-hand side and killed with some help from, what do you know?
It's not enough. They actually do have a big-time mage ultimate back there in the Shinto ultimate on Habwa. Is Benji in danger of getting the kill here on the Yarkor again? Well timed on the ultimate for no CC, but just doesn't matter. Big Man Ting's doing too much damage. That's 2 kills now into solo on the back of this World Weaver, and Sanguine don't have an answer.
And the exorbitant when it comes to this set. I mean, it was
right.
A 4K lead at 12 minutes, a 3K at 15. Those are pretty big, but it looks like Radiance is kind of on pace for them this game, doesn't it?
Sanguine hard committing. Cyclone Spin has to use beads, and Aegis still will not save his life as he tries to get the rewind off. So Sanguine can still hard commit for a kill here and there. They're not entirely out of this one just yet, and if they are able to get this tower, maybe a little
cardinal sin for a carry to be super greedy with their relics, and that's really the exact opposite of what Radiance needed, though maybe this will help. Shinto dead to rights underneath this big tower.
No way you're getting away from dazzling offensive there, so Shinto takes a seat. Didn't even have beads to help out. Fear No Evil coming out from adapting as they've been able to lock down Panatom on the left-hand side. Barely able to make his way out of that one, but that is the beads now on cooldown for the Najah player. But Radiance heading over towards Pyromancer are going to do exactly that, expand it out. So that's why they need this kill onto Cyclone Spin in left. The rewind comes out for him. He is able to try and escape topside, but with Panatom here as well, Cyclone Spin is going to fall eventually, but maybe so will Shinto. Benji diving underneath the mid-tier 2 tower, able to cut down the Habwa.
And Cyclone just buys as much time as he possibly can, gets some damage off, and adapting was looking to maybe blink in with that Fear No Evil, but no beads for him, so this is sketchy.
Our core not quite able to lock down. Now Radiance staff.
They've got a chance to win this game.
They do, because they still have a ton of kill potential, but Sanguine starting up the Fire Giant at this point. It won't be a secret. Radiance are on the way, and the Fire Giant ends up dropped. Radiance get over there just in time to slow this all down, and that was risky at best. Now it looks like Cyclone Spin gonna take the Primal Fury down to his own. Meanwhile, Yarkor in some trouble as well as Benji goes to the dazzling offensive. That does manage to lock down Panatom, but the turnaround damage is there. Benji has fallen, but Fear No Evil stops the chase. Sanguine can't continue pushing in here at this point. Look at these health bars.
Yeah, a little bit too low. I just think a bit of a miscommunication there between Benji and the rest of Radiance. That
one is down as well. Pyro not even up. As far as expanding this lead out right now, Radiance don't even have a ton of options. They're kind of biding their time.
I think it's tier 1 and mid is the most viable option for them. It's already been poked below half. But who cares about that? Let's get the big one.
Right. They're gonna start up this Fire Giant. Cyclone Spin is here, but so is all of Sanguine. Wronghew is in there, should be able to relay the information. The Fire Giant's at half. Benji gets locked down first. Spirit Arrow comes in, and Wronghew has taken way too much damage. First kill of this excursion goes to Radiance. Fear No Evil locks down Yarkor as well, and Shinto and Netria never got to put a point of damage in to this fight until the front line had already fallen. Oh. There's the crushing wave, but Cyclone Spin avoids it. Finally able to get him with those water hands, so it ends up 2 for 1. But Sanguine have to make sure, man, that they're able to get the rest of the squad there all at once.
Shinto nearly ended up getting turned.
Most of their ultimates except for Yarkor, who had to use his when he transformed. Oni Fury pulled again by Radiance. All the relics available for both sides as well, except the Thorns down there for Aurora. So this should be a fairly heads-up fight, but Radiance go back in again. There's the Dharmic Pillars as Wronghew gets pulled in towards Radiance, but he makes that alive, though low HP. Panatom low as well, and now he doesn't have the bead, so the Fear No Evil, so patient from adapting, is well placed. Radiance able to grab the Fury. They get the first kill on the Wronghew. Panatom and Shinto both critically low as well as Benji gets the double kill, and Sanguine are on the run. What a patient fight there from Radiance as they perfectly punish Sanguine.
beautiful. A great ultimate from Yarkor is actually going to let him escape because that gives him enough rage to transform as well. But is that enough space earned by Radiance to actually go for Fire Giant? They aren't that healthy here.
Netroid has dashed in. He will be getting a little help here from Yarkor. Benji uses the beads to get away from the root from Yarkor, and Netroid gets controlled by Aurora. They get the kill into Benji, though, but Netroid has fallen as in comes Big Man Tings. Yarkor Panatom gotta back up as Radiance start to step a bit further forward. Without Benji, the FG...
It's a little bit better because you don't have to worry about that Windfire wheels from Panatom with that being on cooldown, but overall, it's not an easy fight here for Radiance.
Whoa, Sanguine are committing. I think they recognize Aurora's a little bit too far forward, but now it's Yarkor that's in a bad spot. There's the dash from Aurora, not getting a lot of value. Aurora's been rooted, and the damage is not coming through fast enough. Finally, Yarkor gets the kills, but the crits from the backline of Radiance are proving too strong. Solo goes down for support as Sanguine have to start falling back.
Sanguine, again, a little bit low, but have good tools to turn this one around. Dharmic Pillar's coming back up, as is Windfire Wheels. Whereas again, Radiance
really all about that itemization and how far into their build pass they are, but Sanguine desperately trying to hold on, it feels like, here in Game 3.
I mean, they're in a bad spot, but maybe Rongyu is in the worst of them all as he's being chain slowed by Benji. Here comes Adapting as well. That's a dead elephant.
Yeah, the Dharmic Pillar's not enough to keep Rongyu alive in that spot. They commit 3 ultimates, though, the Dazzling Offensive, the World Weaver, and the Fear No Evil, all to make sure they take Rongyu out of this fight, and he's only dead for 30 seconds. Sanguine might still be able to defend, but they're frontline light in this next battle. Keep an eye on Panatom trying to lurk around the back of the fight, but Tings recognize that there's the sash, gets the beads out from Big Man Tings. Panatom has to use beads of his own. Meanwhile, Aurora is way in the back of the fight, gets his dash interrupted, and now his life has been forfeit. Sanguine continue to find trades.
Aurora just a little bit too deep right there, and without ultimates,
A lot harder for the team with the lead, being Radiance, as Sanguine continue to hover nearby. Fire Giant has been pulled. No relics for Shinto in the backline, so this is a risky fight for the Habois. Watch his positioning as Aurora with the Watery Grave looks to disrupt, but Fire Giant's been leashed. Adapting gets to Shinto with the Fear No Evil, and that is it for the Habois. Yarkor barely gets the transformation off in time as the crits were coming out from Big Man Tings, and Yarkor falls as well. They do manage to collect Benji way in the back, but a 2-for-1 for Radiance has to have them feeling good.
Absolutely perfect by Radiance, but it's not over yet. This enhanced Fire Giant's going to be difficult to take down.
Sanguine have to play this fight perfectly. Panatom has so much pressure on him, but he gets collected. Windfire Wheels has to be used defensively, and that's a lot of their kill potential lost. They really needed him. And taking the Oni Fury in the late game, they love to make plays around this Fury in particular when things start to stalemate. But that's why Radiance is here. But this battle can't afford to get as climactic as the Fire Giant when Radiance able to secure the Oni Fury. They'll now have those waves coming down all 3 lanes, but Sanguine are stepping on the gas. Fear No Evil forces them out, but Cyclone Spin has been grabbed by Panatom in the back. He needs some help. Gets the rewind off. That's huge as Aurora is low as well, but they full on commit and Cyclone Spin goes down. Panatom falls as well, but look how low Adapting is. Shinto can afford to keep stepping in with the rest of the boys because he's healthy as Radiance and Sanguine trade ADC for jungle.
And Panatom does his job yet again. It's been a lot of delaying for Panatom, being super patient with that ult, just keeping Radiance off of securing Fire Giant. That time he pulls the trigger much earlier on the Windfire Wheels, catches Cyclone a little bit surprised, and Cyclone not able to get enough peel, even though the whole team tried to get in there. Cyclone also held the beads at the very end when he got sashed. I don't know that he would have lived, but has him up for the next fight at least.
But this is too bad from Sanguine. They did the full reset a little slower here than Radiance, so Radiance in the late game should be able to grab the enhanced Fire Giant. Aurora is there for the zone, and Radiance finally able to break open this stalemate, and that changes the game a lot here, Aggro. Now, Radiance have a full claim to being on offense. Still some Oni mini waves, and not a lot of value out of it, so Sanguine can breathe a small sigh of relief.
Plenty of CDR there for Big Man, though. I mean, he's got 30% with a red pot, so not going to be too long until that's out.
But Yarkor's going in, and boy is he paying the price. He gets blown up right away. Fear No Evil brings him right back the other direction, and Adapting gets the first kill of this fight on the Tier 2, Sanguine. I just don't know about that one.
Agreed. What's the point of that tier 2? There's just no advantage to fighting there as opposed to here.
Right, I mean, that same play is much more effective here. Big knockup, though, coming out from Shinto, stepping up, knowing that there's isolation because of the Dormant Pillars, but Cyclone Spin gets a great rewind off. Now Sanguine has to entirely fall back. Let Phoenix now opened a couple of uncharacteristic late-game mistakes really starting to hinder Sanguine at this point.
I mean, that's just, there's just no point in defending the tier 2 because the terrain is more advantageous for you on your Phoenix. It's a better choke point. So speaking of choke points, how about that knockup by Netrioid, but Aurora not deterred.
Yeah, Aurora does push in, but he ends up falling. Great ultimate from Panatom. He retreats. There's the World Fever, in case you all wanted more evidence of how much damage that's doing. Netroid down to half HP. But even though Radiance are on retreat, even though they lost...
So we got, out of that last 20 minutes, Radiance finally get the Enhanced Fire Giant, and they only get one tier 2 tower and one Phoenix.
Wow.
The best Phoenix to get, but it's still only one.
Look at this, though, from Sanguine. They're getting aggressive, and Shinto has the wraparound, comes underneath, crushing wave. Paladin's big man tings, and Cyclone Spin is putting out decent damage, but Shinto's still alive. Aurora is going to be back up in a moment, but Sanguine completely throwing out the playbook and trying something new. I don't know about sieging this mid-Phoenix, though, fellas. This feels so risky.
It is, but no Fear No Evil there for adapting, no relics whatsoever for Cyclone Spin. I don't mind the call.
Frenzy. I think they're going to go for this one, Ryan, and are they going to get a better opportunity? They might just flat out be correct. Netroid, though, is in trouble. Airstrike allows them to reposition, and Shinto has fallen. Radiance making a big-time defense, adapting with the double kill. Excuse me, Adapt King, as he shuts down Panatom. Benji able to take care of Wrong You as well, and Sanguine overstepping in the late game might have just succumbed to Radiance. Yarkor still being chased out by the dazzling offensive. No world, he survives this. A delayed triple for the jungler for Radiance. They take care of game 3.
And Netrioid is just the final domino to fall for Sanguine. It's an interesting idea. I really don't think that you could be results-based oriented here, right? I mean, you just cannot look at the fact that it didn't work and say it was a bad idea. You can only go with the information that you have available at the time. It's risky for sure. You called it. They almost executed. They almost one-shot Cyclone Spin off Netrioid dashing in. And if they do one-shot Cyclone, that whole fight changes. But adapting just did so much work on that backline dive, and that was really the story of this whole game, wasn't it? That Benji adapting and Aurora were nightmares for Sanguine's backline to deal with. That even though Cyclone really had a very lackluster